it for 5 minutes or so, just for everyone to warm up. So the main one we plug is the Couch Squad on Twitch. That's just Couch Squad Podcast. So it depends where you want to monitor chat from. I'll put that in the
I have got
private chat. I'll put that in there.
Your house is looking alright, eh?
Looking good, man, eh? I got a lot of great ideas for that movie room, the new stream room.
You gonna put soundproof or not?
The garage? I don't know. We'll see. It's a big room.
Is that where you're going to be streaming from, the garage?
Have no choice, pretty much, mate, because it's a 4-bedroom, so Maz's mother-in-law is going to take up a room. And then... the hell's that noise? Oh. So that's 1 room. We'll have a room, so that's 2. And then if Maz takes a room for her stuff, that's a 3rd room. We spoke about sharing a room, like... Imagine us sharing a room like...
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Even Maz...
Exhibit A.
Scott does that too, though. He streams out of his garage, doesn't he?
Yeah, and it works. It's a good setup. Like Maz didn't really want to use the garages, but towards the end, she's like, "I think we're gonna have no choice." And
I've actually been contemplating it because the internet's in the garage, so I wouldn't have to run so many cords like through the hallway and stuff, and then I can turn this actually back into a spare room and then set up an actual streaming den.
So I'll have it as like a not so much a man cave. It'll have my stream room like another. We've already got a media room, but I'll set like a TV and stuff in there. So if we have like all the different kids that come over, they've got an area as well. So
yeah,
I'm just gonna do some tweeting out of things.
That's gonna be the worst part because you own the house. You can be like, I could do this and this and this, and I don't have to ask permission to do this.
It's the best part, mate. It's the best part about it all.
Exactly.
You know, Maz is gonna try and get another cat though. She's like, I don't have to ask permission anymore.
Be a crazy cat lady and have all the cats.
Nothing wrong with that.
I remember sending me photos of Archie when she first got in. I was like, oh my God, I feel sorry for Gavin. He's got spammed with cats. I was like, Jesus.
What's wrong with cats? Cats are lovely.
Nothing. I've got 2 of them, but
I'm not.
But they've also got 2 dogs as well.
Oh, yeah, I miss having a dog.
Couch Squad Podcast.
Last time I was at Nightlife's, we were standing there, and I can't remember which dog it was, but just stood there grunting the whole time. I was like, "You all right?" And he's like,
probably Ellie or someone.
Yeah, I think it was the white one, whatever the white one's name is.
Okay,
yeah, it was the white one.
Reminiscing.
Yeah, I remember the grey one was laying in bed.
Still reminiscing.
This is going to be. I decided because it was confusing, Whippy. This is episode 6. Because I decided that the Gamescom was going to be a special one.
Okay, hold on. Let me write the top one. I'll forget.
Yeah, I thought about it. I thought, is this going to be episode 7? I thought, nah, let's just make this episode 6. The Gamescom one can be like the special episode. I don't want to give this like thing that we run 2-hour episodes. Not a huge fan of. Can you hear my fan? Because I'll turn that down if you can.
No.
Can't hear it at all. I can hear Whippy's fan more than anything.
Really? Another fan.
Fan.
Your mouth is breathing on it.
Oh.
Let me announce in the Discord.
I'm just playing.
Oh, I haven't read Mr. Brad's message. I'll read that later. I've done the tweet too, so you've probably all been tagged and whatnot.
My child is not going to be hyper because he is not in a sleepy mood right now.
Who isn't he?
Oh, he doesn't have school tomorrow too.
What? Oh yeah,
they got
People Free Day.
People Free Day tomorrow.
Wish we got People Free Days for work.
Actually, they're bringing a oh shit, what's it called? They're bringing a day later in the year, People's Day. Apparently, for us adults. They're bringing a People's Day. Yes. Apparently,
what's a People's Day?
I don't know because they obviously rescheduled one of our public holidays that we were supposed to get for the ECA. Yeah, but then they also announced that they're going to bring out a People's Day for adults.
Is that because of lockdown and people aren't allowed to?
I think they're just trying to mellow people
out. Yeah, the
out.
ECA did get moved. Yeah.
We need a People's Day here too, then, because we've been in lockdown for God knows how many months.
It's all right. I think Brisbane will be in lockdown as of the weekend anyway. Archerfield.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Archerfield's how many cases do we have today? How many cases do we have today?
Gundawindi. Wasn't Gundawindi another hotspot?
Gundawindi and Archerfield.
Gundawindi,
Some truck
sorry.
driver. And apparently the Gold Coast, there was a family there that's come back positive. So
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Apparently, I was reading that today.
Yeah, the truck driver, one local case. Thank you, Miss Purple. Thank you. Hello, Miss Purple. How are you? Yeah, so it was a truck driver that came from Look and StreamYard.
Oh, I had it on private chat, my bad.
Jesus.
That's not helpful.
No.
Hey, Whippy, you feeling nervous tonight, mate?
A little bit, eh?
A little bit, eh?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I even put on my old OG NLC shirt. So
the old OG.
The OG one.
Mate, that's not the OG shirt.
I know.
Do you want to see the OG shirt? Hang on, I'm actually wearing it. Hang on.
This was the first Apura Customs one. This was the first good one.
The shirt I'm wearing is it's like 5 years old. It's like the original NLC like ARC days, like before Beam ever existed shirt.
The one thing I hated about Apura Customs was everything was so expensive, but everything looks so good.
Oh yeah,
like everything.
It's premium quality, premium quality, but premium cost too, especially with shipping. Pay for shipping.
You moved to Queensland. Welcome.
Well,
Loving the Queensland life after doing them. Wee, nice. Whereabouts? Which side of the river, Miss Purple? Are you like north or south? Trying to convince Geek to move up here too.
Well, I mean,
just think of the upside. You won't be in lockdown.
Yeah.
All I care about
you
is
go
watching.
See a movie.
Yes, I know. Honestly, that's all I want. I don't mind moving for just like 6 months or something, just so I can live an Australian life, because I've been in lockdown, I think, longer than I've been out since moving to Australia. Because we've had like maybe...
Crazy.
Yeah, it's like I haven't seen Australia since I moved here.
I think it's the hard part. Like I was talking to someone earlier about this as well. Like you definitely feel like for all you guys down there, and obviously we've been in some lockdowns, but nowhere near to the extent of you guys. So it's like really hard. Like when we can go about our daily lives, just about we got to wear masks. That's about what we got to do, and basic social distancing stuff. But you guys have been like in an extensive lockdowns where you just cannot leave for months. There is some people that are absolutely loving it though. Like I was talking to Dibs the other week, and like he works from home anyway, so he does his work from home, and then because he can't go anywhere or do anything, he just jumps on and works on his cars because he's actually coming. He's going to start doing YouTube content, and he's going to have full car related like drifting, racing, all that in real life sort of thing, doing big vlogs and stuff. And he's like dedicating the time he can now to getting his car ready for it. Yeah. So he's been liking that aspect of it. That's pretty good. Well, I think most people would just prefer to get out of lockdown though. Oh yeah. Yeah. Most would just like to get out and watch some movies.
I don't know. Being an essential worker, I kind of like the no traffic side of things.
Well, that's the thing for us. The lockdowns have never affected me. Like rain, hail, or sunshine, I've got to go to work. So, and it's hard to complain because it's hard because it's so like my 12-hour shifts are so long. But I'm also thankful that I've still got a job. Like a lot of the screening staff at the airport got made redundant at the beginning of the year. But I'm in an apartment at the airport where you kind of have to have us. So it doesn't matter how quiet or busy it is. Like just because the government regulations, you have to have us. But it makes for some really long 12-hour night shifts.
Yeah,
I've got the laptop.
The company I was working
sitting in the back there.
We were doing stuff for Qantas. We got it hard after they first.
Yeah, remember that. You used to do all the food catering stuff for the airport, didn't you?
Yeah, we did in-flight catering for business class Qantas.
It's crazy, eh?
Yeah. It's quite funny what they classify as essential workers. Like, yes, there's a fine line between it all, but even like we do windows and glass and all that stuff for houses. I can't see what part of that's essential. Like, Yeah, you're building houses, but the builders don't need to build houses if they want them off the street, sort of thing.
Well, isn't that what New South Wales did? They've cut
everyone off now.
They banned it. They even banned that for a time period as well.
They've cut everyone off. I think they next week. I think they were talking about trying to lower it. Like Melbourne, I think was meant to come out of lockdown or something, weren't they? Or get eased restrictions, and now it's getting smashed again.
I think we were due out of lockdown today. I think today was meant to be the day we got out, but it's been extended
for another month. Another month
till the 23rd, which I think is when they're expecting 70% of people to be vaccinated, at least for first dose. So I guess we'll see.
Might be here till. I rang the doctor and said, "Oh, look, can I book in to get the jab because I'm sick of hearing about it?" And he's like, "Oh, it's probably like a month and a half wait." I was like, "They're telling everyone to get one. You're going to make us wait a month, okay?"
See, I walked in. I got it straight away at the airport. I didn't have to make a booking. Just walked up to where we can get it at the airport.
But that's going to affect a lot of people if they're making it mandatory for all essential workers. Isn't that what's happening in New South Wales or Sydney? They're making it mandatory or essential that all essential workers get the vaccination, otherwise they can't work.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, Scott Morrison said that in a couple of months, I don't know when the lenience is, but in a couple of months, if you go into a shop, they can legally tell you to go away if you don't have the vaccination. So if you go to get your groceries and they say, have you got your vaccination passport? And you say no, they can say, well, you can leave.
Oh, shit.
Well, that's similar to like in Europe. You can't dine in a restaurant if you're not vaccinated. And there was talk about them wanting to bring that over here in Australia. You can't dine anywhere or go anywhere if you're not vaccinated. Like I know some companies are giving their workers $350 to get vaccinated. So they're giving out incentives for people to get vaccinated. Like they're saying it's their choice, but then they're also like, dangling stuff like gyms at the moment. They're offering like a certain percentage off like gym memberships or, free if they get vaccinated and all this crap.
Wow.
Everyone's doing it. So anyway, let's, I guess, probably kickstart. So Whippy, you're in charge, mate. So for those that are watching the live, Whippy's actually going to be taking control tonight. So because there'll be some episodes where I don't make it, so we need a fill-in when I'm not around. So I said, Whippy, might as well practice while I'm here in case you make a mistake and you lean on me. I guess I'm no expert. So
I'll just say like Gavin normally does. Welcome to the podcast Couch Squad Xbox run sheet guide.
So, Whippy, you can do the countdown, sir, whenever you are ready.
I'll just get real nervous.
All right. Just make it till you make it. You're fine.
I'll do the countdown for you. Ready? All right, here we go. Right. 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to another Couch Squad podcast where we talk about all Game Pass related content. This is officially episode 6. Yeah.
off to a great start, mate.
Well,
hang on.
What should people do?
Who are you?
I'm Whippy.
Oh, that's fake. Who am I?
Mr. Nightlife. I'm also with Trish and Boo Boo. And we have a very special guest with us tonight with a very extensive Twitter bio that I was looking at before.
Whoops.
We have got D with us tonight, also from Attack on Geek and is it GPN? Am I right with saying that? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Very extensive. Very extensive.
Tell
us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, go for it.
Sorry, what was that? Me?
Yeah.
Oh. I was waiting on Gavin to go and say something, and I was like, and?
Okay, maybe for all our audio listeners, let me just butt in for a sec. So Whippy is actually going to be hosting tonight. So there'll be a few episodes where I don't make it. So he's actually taken the reins tonight. So be kind on him. He's a little bit nervous, as we all are when we first host. So he's taking the reins tonight. So it's going to be him you're hearing a lot. So yeah, anyway, D, introduce yourself, mate. Who are you?
Who am I? I'm not Spider-Man, but I just love saying that. Sorry. I am Dhayana. I guess I am a doer of many things. I started Attack on Geek, where I review and talk about video games, movies, comic books, the whole shebang when it comes to pop culture. I also founded Women of Xbox, which is a community to empower and support gamers, or specifically female gamers who play on Xbox. And I also work on GPN, which is an Xbox-centric indie gaming news site, and many, many other things that are usually always Xbox related because I'm super obsessed with the brand. So that is me in a nutshell.
So when do you find time to sleep?
Yeah, I was going to say, did you catch on that, guys?
Yeah.
I mean,
I looked at that bio before. I was like, oh my God.
I kind of fit it in sometimes. In the weekends. I'll sleep in the weekends. But yeah,
So
I think
3 hours
I'm very
during the
much...
week, 3 hours during the week and 5 on the weekend?
Yeah, maybe. Well, I'd say 4 hours of the week. 4 to 5, give or take.
Very impressive, Brian. I can't wait to learn more about it in the episode.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, Burby, what should people do if they're joining tonight or coming back again?
This is my nervous time. Okay, so for all you guys that are tuning into our podcast live, we want to firstly say thank you for joining us and being here. And to all of our lovely supporters and listeners that are listening at a later time, regardless of what platform you guys are listening on. Don't forget to leave a like, drop a follow, share our podcast, or even write us a review, as we really do appreciate the love and support you guys provide, and it helps us out greatly.
Yeah, and share it with your brother or sister or something as well, because I'm sure your brother or sister would love to hear about this podcast.
Yeah, that's right. And as most people will know, Xbox adds new titles and obviously takes titles away from the Game Pass every month. And this week they released this month, so September's Game Pass titles. So, Gavin, you want to fill us in on that one?
What are we doing? Oh, we're doing not doing show highlights first. Okay. So what are we doing? We're showing what games are coming out this month.
Yes.
This week. Okay. So coming out. Well, we're going to go into a bit more details. So coming out this week, we have actually this is already out. Actually, Craftopia, Final Fantasy 13. That one's escaped my radar. Signs of the Sojourner. Is that how you pronounce that one?
I don't know. That's why I gave you that. Yeah.
As soon as I saw that, I'm like, you gave this to me for a reason. And Surgeon Simulator 2, that should be out within the day. So that's what's out within the week. We'll cover more in the following weeks. Leaving, Red Dead Online. We'll have a bit of chat about that one later. Red Dead Online's leaving on September the 13th. I'm very surprised about that one. And then on the 15th, we have Company of the Heroes 2. Disgaea 4, Forza Motorsport 7, Hot Shot Racing, The Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance Tactics, and Thronebreaker. So that's the news in a nutshell, guys. Thanks for coming, and have a great episode. No, I'm joking. What else are we talking about in this episode?
Unfortunately, Nightlife asked me to play Train Simulator. I love trains. Trains are sick. And everyone grows up saying, hey, I love trains, whatever. Train Simulator, no. It is so much easier to drive an old train for some reason than a new train. I do not get the logic behind that. But it's there. It took me 25 minutes to figure out how to even start the new train. And I had the old train going and I walked away for 5 minutes, came back and it was on its side. They have added a feature in that you can get out. So to make the game a little bit funner, I guess, you can actually get out. And if you're in the London Underground, so I think they call it the London Underground. Yeah, it's like an underground tram or a train or something. You can go and empty bins if you'd like. Or I think one of the other maps you can go pick up sticks. It's definitely one if you want to kill some time. Visually, it's stunning. I will give it that. It's visually a stunning game, but yeah, it takes a little bit. And there's not
a train simulator game where you're emptying bins doesn't really sound like a train simulator game to me.
No.
I think they've
I
made
don't
it
know.
too...
Sorry, go ahead, Whoopi.
I think they've made it slightly too realistic, and there's no... Like, I did the campaign, so I was doing the tutorial part at the start of it. At no point did they tell you how to drive the bloody train. They said, oh, this is the accelerator, this is the brake. And you take the brake off and put the accelerator on, it doesn't go anywhere. You watch the air build up and stuff, it's like, what am I meant to do? Get out and push it? Like,
Looks like Epic had a similar experience to you. She got on the train, she walked off, and then she uninstalled it.
It would be alright if they showed you exactly how to drive all the trains.
Oh, no tutorial.
There is a tutorial, but it's not really a tutorial. It's like, hey, this is your HUD. This is what this does. This is what this says. This is the accelerator. Like, they don't tell you that you need to put the train in forward and reverse, which is pretty self-explanatory. But most people probably just think, oh, you put the accelerator, like turn the accelerator up, take the brakes off, the train's going to go. Whereas it's actually got gears, and I sat there for a solid 5 minutes holding the horn on just to see if anyone cracked up. Like, it's, I don't know, maybe someone that's an absolute train guru may know a bit more about it, but I don't know the insides and outsides of trains. I just think they look cool and sound cool.
To answer your question, sorry, Miss Purple, just for those listening, Miss Purple asked why she wonders why they take games off. Does Xbox lose the rights to it or something? My understanding of how it works, and maybe Dee knows as well, I think they purchase a certain amount. So I'm assuming Xbox will approach the developers and go, okay, we want to purchase this many copies of the game, as I'm assuming downloads is what I'm assuming. So I'm guessing they would register off downloads. Maybe once they hit them downloads, that comes off the Game Pass service, or they extend it. I'm assuming it's something like that anyway, or it's a contract term. They go, okay, we'll have we agree to have Red Dead Online on the Game Pass service for 6 months for this amount of money. I'm assuming it would work something like that.
I think it's a contract-based thing. I think they have a contract and saying we'll have Red Dead Online on there for 6 months, and if we don't get so many downloads, we'll take it off in 3 months or something. They've probably got set contracts that with their own way out.
Are we on the right track, D? Is that how you understand it as well?
I don't know specifically with Xbox, but I know at work, because I work obviously at Madman that has a streaming platform, and we license a lot of content. That is essentially how we work. We would get a license to run particular shows for a certain amount of time on our streaming platform. And once that license lapses, we can either re-sign, or that's it. We need to remove the show off our platform. So I think it's probably the same thing. I'm assuming Netflix would be the same thing as well, because we distribute anime to Netflix, and they kind of buy the rights off us for a certain period of time.
Okay.
So
okay.
Interesting.
And to answer your question, Blake, sorry, no idea. I looked on Steam the other day, and there's a simulator for everything you can think of. Lawn mowing simulator.
Mowing simulator.
Farming.
Mowing.
I think
there's a
Power washing.
Mechanic.
Fixing computers.
One of my members is playing a car mechanic. You actually have
car mechanic simulator just released their 2021 version. But they got tank
Surgeon
simulator
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just oh no, Surgeon Simulator is if it's anything like the first one, it's definitely not a simulator. You can literally knock their heads off and throw them at walls and stuff. Unless you're some messed up surgeon, but
before we move on, what's everyone been playing over the last week?
State of Decay, I've been starting that again.
Yes.
With the new update?
With the new update, yep.
Did you try the new update?
Yeah, this morning. The new map was
I know
really
we'll go
good.
into it, but briefly, what did you think of it? Because we'll go into it later.
I'm having fun. I'll probably definitely be playing a lot more of it. Trying to get Boo Boo to play with me as well. Which I
am. We started last night. I didn't want to go to bed.
If Ben's listening, I'm blaming him. He got me into Rust, and I've probably put I want to say like 3 hours into Rust in the last few days. That's all I'm playing. Ben, I hate you.
As long as you're having fun, that's all that matters.
I've been coming home every day from work and playing Apex. I'm absolutely hooked on Apex. I don't know why. I'm not normally into I get into them for a little while. It's like Sims. A lot of people play Sims once every 4 months and then never touch it again. Whereas,
no. What Maz does is she plays it once every 4 months, creates a character for about 5 hours, maybe builds the house for 3, and then that's it. And she puts the game away.
Yeah.
That's me. That's me.
Yeah, a lot of people, but something about Apex, I don't know what it is. I'm really, really enjoying it, and I'm not normally a BR guy. Like, I had that phase of playing Fortnite with Maz for 6 months or something, but after that, I was like, nah, I'm done with BRs. They're boring. But Apex has got me back in.
Yeah. What about yourself, D? What are you playing?
I actually recently started playing Quake again, like original Quake, because it's out on Game Pass. Oh my God, it's so amazing to just go back and play a game that looks so bad, but obviously enhanced for like the Series S and Series X. It was pretty cool, like going back to my roots, because I started games with like Doom and Quake and all of that. So yeah, it was pretty cool to be able to see all the different secret rooms and things that I remembered from like the 90s. And I was like, I still remember this.
I played Quake for a little bit again when it was on Game Pass, or still on Game Pass. But like the first mission, I hit one of the secret rooms. I was like, oh, I forgot this game had secret rooms. So you're running around like smashing every wall to see where you can find it. But trying to get through as quick as you can. It's like, yep, this is nostalgia.
Try to find all the secrets by the level. Yeah.
And did you play a bit of Psychonauts 2 as well, did you?
I did, yeah. I took a bit of a break, to be honest, because it got a bit much for me. Because I noticed that with Psychonauts, I would just lose track of time. It is. It really is. It's got a real life kind of impact to it. So it kind of makes you feel good when you're playing it. And so, yeah, when I play it, I tend to lose track of time, and then I'll end up not sleeping like early. And, you know, my sleep is pretty precious. So.
It's a bit like that with games, eh? It's like you look at the time and go, have I really just been playing for that long? Is it really 4 o'clock in the morning?
One more quest. One more. Just one more.
Yeah. I'll get a message from my partner at like 3 a.m. She's like, are you coming to bed? I'm like, oh, I thought it was like 9 o'clock. Yeah, okay. So a little birdie has told me that Mr. Nightlife wants to be like DJ Blue PDX.
Oh.
His promotion he did the other day, he wants to try and beat that. This is what the birdies told me. So everyone in the chat, you can tell us how good he is.
I'm not going to be able to beat that performance. There's no way in the world we are not going to beat that performance, not even the slightest. Yeah, sure. Did you guys know that for your first month, you can get Game Pass Ultimate for $1, and every additional month after that is about $15. And with over almost 500 games now on the service, it is a fantastic service, and there's a plenty of different games to satisfy your needs, depending on what you want. Do you want some survival games? There's about a dozen survival games on the platform, and we will be doing a review of our top ranked survival games with a special guest in the coming weeks, so stay tuned for that one. If you like your FPS games, there's plenty of FPS games. You like simulator games, go play Simulator. I think you can even play Sims 4 and therefore use Sims 4 fanatics. And let's not forget cloud gaming, where you can essentially, unless you're in Australia, play your games anywhere, but you will be able to play cloud gaming soon. So for anyone that is interested in Xbox Game Pass and you have not used Xbox Game Pass before, grab your first month for $1, and then every subsequent month after that is about $15 Australia. And thanks to Xbox Game Pass for providing us some more codes. Dhayana is walking away today with a 3-month code, and you can, if you want to have a chance to win that, follow her on her socials, and I'm sure she will decide how she's going to give that one away. So thanks to Xbox ANZ for that one. So yeah, guys, go get Game Pass, but you already have it, so because you're all smart people listening.
Maybe if you give the code to your Premier, they'll take the lockdown down. And they can lock themselves down for 3 months and play Xbox.
That's a good plan. That's a good plan.
So Trish,
yes,
tell us about Myst.
Oh gosh, okay. So Myst was it was originally released in like 1993, but it was rebuilt for the Xbox. That's why it's on Xbox Game Pass at the moment. When I jumped into it, I had no clue what I was doing. It's a first-person puzzle game where you interact with specific objects on screen by clicking or dragging them, but there was buttons everywhere, and I was clicking them, and I was like, okay, this is not doing anything. What do I do? Because literally there was no tutorial. There was a cutscene, and then you click on a book, and then you went to like a picture in the book, and then you add a dock, and I was walking around. I'm like, okay. I couldn't get past that because I had no clue what I was doing. I guess if I played the original back in 1993, I'd probably get that same feeling how I would with Quake in that, like, oh, I remember this when I was growing up, but I just couldn't get into it. If I knew what I was doing, maybe, but I'm never really good with puzzle games anyways. So yeah. Did anyone else try it?
No.
I tried to actually get it to run on my laptop. I don't know. I've got a new MSI laptop. I spent a fortune on the thing, and I thought, I'm really quiet at work. I'll try and get some of these PC ones done. And I couldn't run Myst. It kept like crashing, and then another one that was on PC. I don't know if it's the laptop. It's a good laptop. I spent like 2,300 on it.
Before you start up a game, you got to start up Dragon Center and boost everything, or it doesn't run properly. I've used to have that issue on my MSI.
Okay, I played like a really basic Game Pass game on there, and that worked. But yeah,
Minecraft used to lag for me. It was great.
Oh my gosh.
So, what do you think of it, Epic? Because yeah, it didn't really catch my fancy. I mean, it's great to see that they've done a remake of it. Did you play the original, D, before it got remastered?
No, I actually, now that I think about it, I did have the game on PC like in the 90s, and I remember thinking, wow, this is really cool. It just looks like a big island, and I had no idea what to do in the game. It just was an island, but I never actually played it. And I did watch some gameplay and trailers and things for it, and all I could think of was me just being an absolute noob, running around not knowing what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, yeah, this game is probably not for me.
Yeah,
I mean, it looks great.
Yeah, the visuals look nice. It's just I wanted to know how to do what I would need to do in this game.
So it's not like are you saying like there's no like tutorial, Trish?
Yeah, there was nothing. It just put you in, and I was like, okay, now what? I was walking around pressing all the buttons. There was like books that you could read. I guess it would be like backstory of the game or something. But I was like, yeah, I don't want to read all this. And then yeah, buttons, switches. I just had no clue what I was doing.
Blake says that he played Mr. School. Does that make him old or lucky? I'm going to say both.
Oh, no.
So I guess I'm guessing it must have been a good game as the original, or they probably wouldn't have remastered it, I'm guessing, and re-released it. So
I think a lot of people are diving into the puzzle games now too. Like I've noticed a lot more people.
Puzzle games.
Like I remember when Dibs was streaming all the time. He was doing puzzle games. Like he loved them, having to think about what he was doing and that it was taking him an hour and a half to get through one room. He loved that. Not my cup of tea. It's not quick enough.
Yeah. So there you go.
So I'm going to warn everyone in the chat. If you haven't played this yet, you're more than welcome to mute us. But we are going to do a spoiler review for 12 minutes because
yes,
Nightlife and I have been waiting about, would you say 3 weeks now? Yeah.
So we did for those listening or watching, we did our spoiler-free review in episode 5. We did a spoiler-free, and we did say in that episode we would do the spoiler version. So if you have not played 12 minutes yet and you don't wish to be spoiled, you may want to either click away if you're watching the live stream or just skip about 5 minutes or so until we get through it, because we're very keen to talk about it because it's had very mixed reviews. Now, I've checked with D. She hasn't played it, but she was okay to be spoiled, and I gave her a heads up ahead so she could have her thought process hold over the ending. So,
yeah, I couldn't stop thinking about it all day.
So before I go into it, Trish or Boo, have you guys played this, or did you finish it?
I've played it, but haven't finished it. But I don't know when. I don't know when I will be, so I don't mind getting spoiled. You know what I mean?
I haven't played it, but I was watching Trish play it, so.
Okay, all right. So I'll bring up some of the endings here while we kind of talk about it. So just to recap, you play as a gentleman, and you're in this 12-minute loop of where a cop comes in and your wife gets accused of killing her father from 8 years ago. If you try to kind of intervene, you essentially get killed. There is ways around it. There is ways around it, of course, but you have to. That's part of the puzzle. Just wondering why I got pinged then. Sorry.
One thing about that game is though, you start playing it and you need to know that everything you see or everything you hear is somewhat of a clue. There's pointless stuff like, I'm pretty certain you can pick up a candle that doesn't do anything, but everything you see is a clue. And there's stuff that you won't necessarily look at there's also a clue.
You have to. Yeah, everything's just a clue. So from the get go, you have to be paying attention. So the first this part took me like an hour to figure out. I think it was. I think Whippy, you were the same. But the first like major way to get through the first part is there's a cupboard to your left when you get in, and the clue is when she first says hello to you. Oh, I didn't hear you come in. So the clue is that okay, you have to hide when you come in. So you hide, so she doesn't know you're there, and then the cop will walk in, and more of the scene will play out. So you literally have to watch this the girl get killed essentially, and that opens up more of the clues. And then as the story develops, you're discovering more and more about just so it's all to do with this watch, and this watch is worth a lot of money. This cop guy's daughter has cancer, and that's why he's robbing you because she.
Actually, can you pause this for 2 secs? The video.
Yeah. Yes, I can.
And then go back a little bit to the where they had the names. Sorry, anyone that's listening, this is going to make no sense to you.
Which one do you want?
Just go to where the credits start.
Credits start. It's about there.
So go right. Keep going, scrolling right. It just goes. Yeah, I'll just play it from there. I'll tell you in the pause.
Yep, okay.
The game itself, like the fact you've got William Dafoe, Daisy Ridley, and I can't think of his name again. We said the same thing last time.
Yeah, we said the same.
Yeah, James McAvoy. That's it. It ends up being a very twisted game. That's for sure.
You break the news, or do you want me to break it?
So she's practically your sister, or she is your sister.
She's your half sister.
Yeah, and you're married and going to have a kid, and yeah. But the one thing I noticed, and if you keep playing the credits, which I found very interesting, because he's actually meant to be dead.
Who?
Because the whole thing is about the murder of her father.
Yes, this is the part I don't understand. So my interpretation of it was, so it was all about, it was discovering, you were trying to say, you go through all the clues and you find it's all to do with this. So obviously there was an affair that was had with the dad. So you're trying to figure out who the mum was, and the clue was in the baby clothes. So because obviously you find out that your wife's pregnant, and she hands you the baby outfit, and it's got your mother's name on it. And then he freaks out, going, "Hang on a minute, I'm the mother, I'm the brother." So you end up finding out you're the brother, which my interpretation is that you killed the dad. But I don't think the loop in itself is real, because the end parts that you see, which are, I'm just going, so there's like,
see there where it says father, William Dafoe. That's the part that really got me.
Yeah, so
I remember
William Dafoe,
actually putting a cursor over him.
My understanding is that the cop, the 12-minute loop is not real, because I believe he is correct me if I'm wrong, it came to me across as he's the therapist. So in this room here, this is like a loop. So there's like 3 different endings to the game. So
yeah,
there was 2 that I were able to grab in my playthrough. So I grabbed the 3 options it gives you is you can try and stay. So he says, you know what you need to do, and you say, I want to stay with her, I'll tell her the truth. And what happens is he kills you in this scene, and then you go back to the loop. But you can't, and if you tell her, she leaves you, and then it just loops again. So you just can't seem to stay with her. So then I tried the other one, where you tell him in this scene, okay, I'll do the right thing and I'll leave her, I'll just walk away. And then that finishes the game. But then this is what I told you where it was different for me, Whippy, because it allowed me to continue. So the credits rolled, went back to the main menu, and I went continue. And when you walk into the room, it's empty. It's like she's walked out, everything's empty. And then the watch is still there. So I grabbed the watch, went back in again, and then I did the the ending you did, mindfulness.
Yeah, so if you look at the screen, I'm sorry for whoever's listening to us, you're pretty much in a room with a bunch of bookcases around you, and there's one red book that she was reading throughout every loop. She started reading this red book, and you ask her about the book, and then you see that same red book on this bookshelf, and if you click that, then he pretty well tells you to look at the clock, and then it goes back to the main screen, and you have your option is to start again.
Yeah, he makes you forget. Makes you forget. But my understanding here is he's like a therapist, and it's not real. He's making you. It was so confusing, and it's had such mixed.
Yeah.
Is that how you understood it as well?
Yeah. The ending. I mean, it was bad enough that he was with his sister, but
I think they're claiming
the whole cop father therapist thing was a bit like, well, it's kind of Inception.
Yeah, it was weird. Anyway, so my understanding of the endings where you could leave her, and not explain why. You could literally forget everything. You couldn't really. I mean, you could. I think they classified it as an ending. You could stay with her, but you would forever be stuck in that 12-minute loop. That was how I interpreted it. You'd always be in that 12-minute loop.
Yeah.
There was another one I saw where you could kind of break the news to it, but she just walks out. I don't know. The game was confusing, and it took me about 5-6 hours to get past it all. You got it done in 3, but
yeah.
Girls, now that you know we got games with brothers married to sisters, what do you think?
Yeah.
I mean, is it better than dating your weapons?
We'll leave that up to question.
What are you reckon, about? Are you glad you played that one, or are you glad you haven't played that one yet?
I personally don't know. I mean, I'm kind of intrigued now, but at the same time, it's like, oh, I don't know. I do get uncomfortable in like even movies or any kind of shows where there's that kind of familial romantic relationship, and it just makes me really uncomfortable. So I don't know. I do love Willem Dafoe though, and so it's like, oh, but I really want to see how he, voices his character in this game. But I don't know. I might live vicariously through you guys.
Don't get us wrong. If like you guys haven't played the game yet, it is an amazing game. Like the how you've got to think and what you've got to do and stuff. I didn't think I was going to play it until I saw Nightlife streaming it. I think it was on a Friday night. The Saturday morning, I played it and finished it. I was not getting off until I'd finished the game. It was amazing. And I'm not normally into those sorts of games where you got to continually think. And like the only thing they could improve on is if you could skip half the crap that you're going to listen to. Like, I get so sick of seeing him kiss her 40 times and
it's more so some of the conversations, like it acts like you can skip it, but like the deeper you go, the more you have to and it's like I've heard this, but it's more frustrating where like you just there's like I feel like there's 2 spots where you get real stuck and you have to like search for ages to find the clue. But yeah, that's probably I think I agree with you there.
It's Oh, what else? I was going to say something else, and now I can't even think about it.
What do you think of it, Trish? Well, I know you haven't finished it, but how were you finding it?
Yeah, I was like, you sit down and then you just wanted to keep going to find more information.
Like you got it. Look in here. He's like what he's doing here. I know for those listening, I understand. So one of the things you have to do to get more information, you have to drug her. So you put sleeping pills in her drink. Essentially, she drinks it. She'll fall asleep. The cop will come in. He'll turn a light on, which is faulty. It'll electrocute him. He'll go unconscious, and then you can handcuff the cop and get more questions. So
I killed him. I was like, I didn't mean to shoot his. Yeah,
that's one of the things though. It's one of those games where you start clicking everything, like the paintings. Oh, the paintings are a clue. Yeah. One scene you try and hide in the shower. Like, oh, am I going to get more information by hiding in the shower? Am I going to get more information by sitting in the bedroom? There's so many. They've made so many options, and the one thing I could not stop laughing about was good old YouTube. If you have the radio playing while live streaming, apparently you get copyrighted. It was quite nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't play if you don't want to get demonetized. Don't play the radio, which is kind of useless anyway. So. Yeah, that's all I really have to say on 12 minutes. It's had mixed reviews as a result. Some people haven't liked it. Some have still really enjoyed it, but it's definitely had a very mixed review as a result. Voice acting was fine. I think it was good. I think they chose.
I actually really enjoyed. I wouldn't have picked Daisy. I wouldn't have picked Daisy Ridley's voice. I don't think she sounded so much like Daisy Ridley. But William Dafoe, I knew him a mile away. As soon as he talked, you're like, oh yes. The worst part is all you could think of was the Green Goblin the whole time. I was waiting for him to come in with the Green Goblin suit. But talking about weapons, though, I have heard, Boo Boo, that you played a bit of Super Animal Royale.
I did. I quite enjoyed it. Look, I wasn't. Trish actually came across it. I think it was a couple of months ago. She was playing with my son, and I was like, I'm not the biggest fan of battle royales, so I didn't play it. But I jumped on it and I started playing it, and then I was like, okay, more. Let's keep going.
It's so cute.
I think
though.
we ended up, visually it's cute if you like that sort of thing. So essentially, it's as you know, battle royale. It visually looks cute. You got your little characters and different types of guns, and the map's pretty cute as well. You got lots of places you can hide. There's like hamster balls that you can ride in. There's emus that you can ride. Like it's pretty self-explanatory, really.
Yeah, so we're covering this one because it's been in early access for a while, so it's actually officially launched now. So it's now 1.0. So it's like for those that aren't in the live stream listening in, it's a top-down view battle royale. So it's just a fun little game. Your animals are fully customizable, so you can be little foxes or cats or dogs, and you just kind of unlock them all. And it's just got this little top-down view to it. Very simplistic game. So like any battle royale, solos, squads, duos. I've played it before. It's actually quite fun. I found it quite addicting.
I was just going to say, I definitely have played this with Maz on the PC before. I do remember playing it.
Cross-platform too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cross-platform. You ever jumped into
It's
this one?
definitely a fun little game.
I'm definitely planning on picking this up when it comes out fully on Xbox. It's just like it's the perfect mix of all the really interesting games. You've got the Battle Royale mode, you've got your really cute animals, you can customize them, and just the game kind of looks like a battle royale on Animal Crossing. And so it's like, oh, I really like this. I don't know if I'll.
It's already out on Xbox.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's been on. Okay.
It's been
I
on
should go
Game
pick it
Pass.
up right away.
It's been on Game Pass for a little while, I think. Well, I did my own review a couple of months back, but it's just officially launched. It's been in early access this whole time, and now it's like, yep, we're launching the game 1.0. Still on Game Pass.
Oh, cool. Well, there goes my sleep for the rest of the week.
One cool little thing that they do as well, based on feedback, was how a lot of with how most battle royale games have their season passes that you have to get done by XYZ date. Well, for those that do like to have a life and can't get all the season passes done, they don't take the previous season pass away. They still allow you to complete the previous season pass.
That's a good idea.
I think with some battle royales, once that season pass is over, that's it. If you didn't get the rewards, too bad. Kind of so sad. Whereas this one,
skunk gas.
Yeah. So, did you? The most important thing is, Boo, did you win?
No. I think I came top. What was it, Trish? I think we were like the top 5 alive, but there were some hectic players in there. I tell you what, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of battle royale.
I did come top 2nd with Brett though.
Oh yeah. She was playing with Obi while I was around, and they came top 2. That was I remember that now. But no, I did not win.
I can't play games with little kids anymore. I played Fortnite once with my cousin, and we were playing, and then I couldn't build fast enough for him. And then he's yelling at me because I couldn't build. I was like, I don't build, I shoot. I'll shoot, you build. He's like, no, you have to build. You're the gamer. You're the one that streams. I was like,
so your fault, Whippy. Blaming
on
you.
Wow.
So there you go, guys. If you Super Animal Royale, check that one out on Game Pass. I think that one's that's a recommend from me. That one.
Yes, I would recommend.
I could put that one in my recommend pile. Put some time
same
into.
Here.
Definitely gonna play it again though.
Mr. Nightlife, we received a photo from you the other day, with a bunch of heads in a room. Would you like to tell us a little bit, Serge, about Surgeon Simulator? I know it's not quite out yet. But I got sent a photo the other day with just like 8 heads on the ground.
Yeah.
Oh my
you're
god.
like, what is this? I was like, that's Surgeon Simulator.
Yeah, well, this one
Totally.
hasn't come. This one hasn't come out just yet. Let me get the window up for the people. Get a full screen here. So this one comes out. I think this one should be. If you're already listening to this tomorrow, I think it should already be out. I think it comes out on the. No, I was at the 7th.
Yeah, it comes out second. Oh, hold on.
2nd, 7th. I actually can't remember now.
It
Does
comes
that mean-
out on the 2nd, so it should definitely be out by tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm just trying to quickly pull up the trailer here for all those in the live stream. So what's concerned me, because I'm thinking, simulator game surgeon, interesting concept for a simulator game, because I haven't played the previous. I literally saw someone using a 10-pin bowling ball, and the 10 pins were heads. In the trailer, I'm like, and I literally screenshot and said to the guys, I said, "What in the world is this game?" So, has anyone played the previous one? Because I certainly haven't. And
Yeah.
I did. I have. Yes.
It's quite fun.
Someone tell me about this game and why it's got a
The
sequel.
original one, they gave you a certain amount of missions that you had to like. Oh, you've got 6 minutes to replace this dude's heart, but you could like rip his rib cage out and poke his heart and rip
Or
his
you
heart
could
out
slap
and
him
squeeze it.
around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
slap him in the face to see if he's still alive. If he, like, it's like you see there, she's slapping him in the face with a piece of bread. Like, it's a funny game. It's one of those ones where everyone needs to play it because it's so
Here it
stupid.
is.
Oh
Like,
my god.
yeah, see, like
Wow.
I remember you could physically pick up a meat cleaver and chop their arms, legs, head off, and just have a body there and float. Yeah, like
The heck?
Oh my word.
But I
The one
don't
thing-
recall it being like this. Like I
No.
remember it either being in a room or an ambulance, and you had
you were
your
only
set
stuck
path.
in a room. Yeah,
Yeah, it wasn't like really cartoony or like this where it's
So how is it 4-player? How is it multiplayer? Like, what do you?
the original wasn't.
first one
it was
wasn't.
single player.
Okay.
just single.
It was just
So-
stupid. You could do stupid stuff. Like
We don't know how
rip everything out.
how it's going to be multiplayer. Well, we don't
I
know
don't
what
think
they're
you
going
were
to do.
supposed to do stupid shit, but people did. And I
Like,
guess
that-
obviously because they got so much feedback from people doing stupid shit in the first one, they thought, hey, let's run with, and obviously the second one's a lot like that.
That it was quite interesting. Like I remember the first one, you'd have your body there, and the chest was already cut open, sort of thing, and you're like, oh, extract his lungs, put new lungs in, do this carefully so he doesn't bleed. So you have an option of like a little buzzsaw or something, like to do it properly, or how I did it was just smash his ribs open with a hammer, rip his lungs out, put the new ones in, and then glue the ribs back together.
Yes.
It works. He may have lost like 2 liters of
A
blood,
lot
but it
of
still
blood.
worked.
Yep.
This might be fun to play with friends, yeah, and just do stupid crap
It-
together.
especially if you can get a 10-pin bowling with a lung.
Head bowling.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
yeah.
Or head bowling, 10 head bowling.
We have Epic saying hello to Tom. Tom's in the background of D's setup.
Oh,
So
they're saying
Hello,
hello, to
Tom.
you, Tom.
hello, Tom. Hello, Tom.
He waved
Sorry.
back.
So yeah, Whippy's going to tell us all about Surgeon Simulator next week. I have no doubt on what it's like.
I would definitely be streaming that one over the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be some
Yeah.
good fun.
There's actually not
There-
that
another-
much coming out to Game Pass this week. Well, actually, no, I take that back. There actually is. I take that back. They announced more games today, as they do on podcast day.
One I am actually very keen to have a look at for some reason. I don't know why. Just part of it is the Artful Escape, which looks like a bit of fun. From what I can see, you're pretty much like a little guitar, or you think you're a guitar prodigy. It's a bunch of mission-based sort of things.
Yeah, I've seen this one as well, and don't know what to think about it. It looks.
I don't know
like
what to think about. I will play it though. I'm keen for it.
It's a side scroller, I think. I think of another game. I watched that many trailers.
I'm sorry, Obi. That is the best comment I've seen all night.
kids these days, their version of this game was a plastic man whose nose would light up when you extracted the wrong body part. Good times.
Oh my
that was
God.
what's that's Operation, wasn't it?
Yeah, Operation.
Yeah.
Operation.
Yeah.
I remember at one point you get so annoyed, so you just start getting the prong and just setting it off on purpose. You're like, stop.
Yeah. Have you seen the trailer for this one, D? Artful Escape? What was your
No,
thoughts on
I
it?
haven't. I didn't even know it was a game that was coming out, to be honest.
That's what happens with Game Pass. A lot of games that sneak past the
Too many
radar.
games,
I
yeah.
have noticed Game Pass are also really diving in, which obviously they're announcement at Gamescom, but they're really diving in with their indie games now. Like
I've noticed that too.
They've
glad
kind
for
of
that.
more or less lowered down a little bit on the AAA games and are smashing out a bunch more indie games, which I'm keen for because like 12 minutes, I wouldn't have touched that otherwise. I
Exactly.
wouldn't even know it
yeah.
existed.
And that's one thing I personally love about the Game Pass service for that reason is like it allows you to try so many games that you probably wouldn't have bought. Like Symbol Berry, I probably wouldn't have bought 12 minutes. I probably wouldn't have bought this, and I'll probably try it on Game Pass. But it's not because I think they're bad games, but especially now with COVID, money's tight and you got to spend your money carefully. So, you know, and with some, what's the fair average price of a game? $40 if you were to average out.
Yeah.
I know your AAA's are more, but for your indie-based games, they're probably what?
Yeah,
and
about
somewhere
40.
between.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, about
Yeah.
40.
That's a lot of money. Like 2 games, you've already, you know, 2-3 games you've spent what Game Pass costs you in a year. So
They
I
did
mean-
the trailer for the Artful Escape properly though. It looks so colorful and vibrant. It actually looks like a game. Like, oh, that looks pretty cool. I might actually give that a shot. Like, the story may be whatever. If it looks pretty, that's the main thing. It's always like bright colors attract people.
what's the what do you enjoy mostly about the Game Pass service, D?
Honestly, it's the fact that I can just try a game, and if I don't like it, I don't have to waste money trying to, you know, resell it or go and exchange it for pittance, essentially. I've tried so many different games because of Game Pass, and I don't think that like Whippy said, I would never have played certain games if not for Game Pass. So there's that, and also the accessibility factor. It's so affordable that more people can play games now, especially because if you get like Ultimate, for example, you can play on both your console and PC, and then you get cloud gaming into that. You just get so many more people playing, especially people from like low income families and households. People from those backgrounds being able to play games is such a win. And so for me, it's like Game Pass is the best, I guess, incentive and innovation that's out there in gaming right now. And I think it's only going to get better and better.
Do you think they'll ever have a competitor? Because at the moment, like they just own this space. Like PlayStation have done nothing, but just like Netflix, you got Netflix, you got Bing, you've got Disney. You like, I've got Netflix, Bing, and Disney. They're my main 3. And if they're not on anything else, I just don't buy it. I just that's my subscriptions, and I'll watch my content based on that. And at the moment, gaming, like that's all I've got is Game Pass. But do you think it needs a competitor, or will it have another competitor? And who do you think it may be?
I mean, competition's always good, right? So I don't know. I think it's healthy to have competition. I think Netflix is definitely going to come in and change things up because obviously they are investing a lot of money into the gaming space. They are looking at doing game. I think Amazon is as well. Isn't New World an Amazon game?
Yes.
It is. You are correct. Yes. Yeah.
So I think we'll see a few more of these companies start incorporating gaming. Like gaming is the in thing right now. And more companies are trying to kind of latch onto that. So I think we'll see gaming companies adapt to that quite quickly. Whether or not PlayStation and Nintendo will follow suit, I don't know. They're pretty late to the party because Game Pass has been around since 2018, 2017.
Yeah.
So
they would have a lot of catching up to do as well. PlayStation for them to get it. Like aside from PlayStation and Nintendo, you can essentially play your Xbox just about anywhere. Aside from PlayStation and Nintendo, like correct me if I'm wrong. It will even be possible to play it on that new Steam. Is it Steam Play that's coming out?
Steam Deck. The Steam Deck.
Yeah, I think it's going to be possible through a browser. I think even. So.
I think there was conversations. I'm pretty sure I saw Phil Spencer say that it would be really cool to bring Game Pass to that. And if he tweets something like that, you know he's working on it.
But they're taking over they're making really, really smart moves, even with the Game Pass. Like even teaming up with Bethesda. You know what I'm trying to say?
Bethesda?
Yeah. Like you think about the titles that just in that alone that we've now got on Game Pass. Like anyone that didn't play Quake back in '96 when it came out, you've now got the option to go and play Quake for free. Like you're paying for it, although the monthly subscription. But if you pay for half an hour and don't like it, uninstall it. Simple as that. You're not losing. You're losing half an hour of your time. It's like Train Simulator. I lost an hour of my time. I've uninstalled it now, and I'll never look at it again. But I've tried it, and I didn't go and spend $40, $50, $60 on a game that I don't like this. Let's go to EB Games and get $5 for it.
Yeah,
Like,
$5 trade in value back for it.
Yeah.
No, I think Game Pass is it's a must-have now and part of your portfolio of games and streams and all that kind of thing. Personally, so I'm excited to see what they do over the next couple of years for sure.
Talking about portfolios, D, yours is beyond extensive.
Oh dear.
Recently, we've seen your names up for, is it Gaming Women of the Year? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Women in Games, the Global Awards for, I think it's Campaigner of the Year or Esports Campaigner / Entrepreneur. Which obviously I don't do anything in esports, so that's one of the things that I found quite interesting.
You've got one of those names that I think everyone in the ANZ or even globally know. Like you've kind of
Most
made
people,
that.
I'd say, yeah, for sure. I'd agree with that one.
Most people know who you are, regardless if it's through Attack on Geek or just by yourself. Like you've even got that beautiful Twitter tick now. Like you're something if you got the Twitter tick.
I'm just different. That's all. I think they probably looked at me and was like, this girl is a person of color. We don't have a lot of people of color doing things in games, doing things in, diversity and all of that. Plus she's only on Twitter. As you know, I live on Twitter. So maybe that's why they kind of went, oh, okay. We want to keep her on Twitter. Here's a tick.
I know you've probably told your story a fair bit, but obviously for any new listeners or those watching that might not be familiar with your work, how did you kind of get started in your content creation space? I saw you've probably told a lot, I'm sure.
I love telling this story, and it's really great that Tom's sitting behind me. So I actually started reviewing movies because I absolutely hated the Fantastic Four reboot. And so I didn't have anyone I could talk to about how much I hated that movie. And so I set up an online blog and I wrote a review about it. And then as an anime fan, I watched the live action for Attack on Titan, which was equally terrible, if not worse. And so I wrote another review and I was like, I can get into this. I can write reviews for movies. And that kind of spread into comics. And then I started dating Tom. And he obviously is a gamer through and through. He would spend, hours and hours just playing games. He used to stream for Xbox back in New Zealand. And at the time, I never played online, never knew what streaming was. I was very much a closet gamer. I would just play in my own time by myself, play single player games. And it came to a point where I would, have dates organized with him and I would go to his house and I have to wait for him to finish his Destiny raids. Because at one point in time, he would do these raids and I'd have to just sit there and be like, all right. And so, age-old saying, when you can't beat them, you join them. And so I kind of fell into the kind of, not trapped, so to say, because obviously it's benefited me in such a good way. But I kind of discovered a love for gaming online and talking to people from different regions and around the world. I was really fascinated by streaming as well. And so I started streaming, I started reviewing games. And obviously I come from a PR and marketing background. So essentially knew what needed to be done to kind of grow my platform. Not that I expected it to go anywhere, but, you know, I was starting to post a lot on social media. I was writing a lot of content. I was kind of freelancing for other people as well. And, you know, it kind of just started from there. And now if I look back, I'm like, how did it all kind of get to this point? Because I don't really think about what I do sometimes. It just happens and I just go with the flow. Opportunities will come to me and I'm like, okay, do I sacrifice my free time and my sleep and, you know, any relaxation time? Sure. Okay. I think I'm a workaholic maybe.
Was there a point where in your journey where you kind of realized you were onto something? Where's like, or have you just kind of grown steadily over time? Was there a point like where you got, hey, you know, I think I'm onto something here and I should really dive into this more and kind of...
It's been interesting because obviously it's not been all smooth sailing. Like I say that it's all kind of happened and I've kind of rolled with it, but a lot of it has been really hard work and a lot of blood and sweat and tears. Not really blood, but a lot of sweat and tears. I just use that as an expression. Maybe blood from Tom when I'm like screaming at him and just, you know, you know, but I think it was a lot of sacrifice. I think I came to a stage where I loved what I did so much that I was happy to sacrifice my sleep. I know when I first started, I really did only sleep about 3-4 hours, even on weekends. I was up all night writing reviews because back then, and even now, when you have a review to write, they generally want you to feed it back to like the PR team the very day after they've given you the access or whatever, or the embargo goes live, they want that review done. So it was a lot of tight deadlines. And then came streaming, and to try and make it to partner, I was streaming, you know, maybe 30 hours a week on top of working a full-time job and, you know, trying to manage being obviously an adult and having responsibilities and a family and all of that. A family as in like parents and siblings, not my own kids. I would not have survived if I had kids. I don't think I would have ever gotten to this point because I don't think I would have been able to manage. But yeah, it was a lot of trial and error. There were a lot of hard times where I felt like I wasn't growing, I wasn't learning anything, I wasn't developing. And so, you know, when that kind of happens, when you get into that state of, well, there's nothing more for me to do, I usually add something else on top of that, which is where I've kind of gone from, you know, writing reviews to streaming to, you know, doing things on Twitter, doing unboxings, and then kind of doing this now with diversity and all of that. Obviously, this area when it comes to advocacy is very different to being a content creator. But I kind of reached that point where I'm like, well, I've done everything in games in that sense. I've worked with all the brands. I've literally gone around the block twice. Yeah. And now, you know, for me right now, I'm in that position where I want to be able to help the future generation with making their lives a lot easier coming into this space, whether it's, you know, women, young girls, especially because I don't know if you guys noticed, but a lot of young girls, they don't really feel comfortable talking about being a gamer. There's a lot of people I talk to who tell me, like, you know, they hide their personas online because they don't want to get that abuse and harassment. And I think that's just so sad. And I want girls to feel inspired and empowered to do what they're passionate about. And so, yeah, I guess I've just constantly grown and evolved every time things kind of, you know, I kind of hit a wall. I just find a way to climb over and keep going.
They yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I think a lot of people think that the ladies have it easy, but it's far the opposite. You know, they become
definitely the opposite. Blake has asked how the loss of Mixer impacted you as an influencer.
Oh, I actually thought my whole world was crashing down around me because it wasn't the best time for Mixer to just turn off. We were smack bang in the middle of the second lockdown, which was the longest lockdown in Melbourne. Obviously, I had a lot of brand opportunities that were reliant upon me streaming on Mixer. And the way Mixer informed me that the platform was going down was not the best. I found out from Twitter first.
You were putting it very politely, I must say, but
Yeah.
I mean, for what it's worth, Microsoft owns Mixer, and I still love Microsoft and I love Xbox, so I can't fault them too much. I just kind of wish they gave me an advance notice before the rest of the world knew, considering,
really,
you know.
I would really hope, looking back now, they learnt some lessons, and I'm sure they did, and how they handled it, because it was to be pumped.
Yeah.
The worst part was like there was a whole heap of stuff going on in Mixer regardless. And then everyone was saying, "Oh, what's the fix? You guys need to do something, like fix this issue because you're just getting plastered right now on Twitter." And then everyone's, "Oh, Mixer's shutting down." I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
No, this is not what the answer was meant to be. Like, fix it elsewhere. Like, get rid of the problems. Don't just get rid of your platform. And it's like, oh, everyone just go over to Facebook Gaming. It was like, it wasn't as simple as going over to somewhere else. Everyone made families and made friends on Mixer. It was one of those platforms where everyone got along. There was no, you didn't, like, you had the occasional blueberry coming into your stream acting like an idiot. But that was it. Everyone made friends. Everyone met, like, that's where I met NLC, met Nightlife, I met Maz, everyone through Mixer. And then for them just like, oh, yeah, see you guys, we're off. Like, what?
Yeah. It was pretty poorly managed, considering they were a massive organization with some, like, they literally bought Ninja to come over, and then immediately a couple of months later it's like, goodbye.
Yeah, that was probably the easiest payout he's ever had in his life. Same with Shroud.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, they got all these big games and like, oh, here goes Mixer. It's gonna really blow up now. Like, it was a good platform. And, oh yeah, it's gonna blow up. It's gonna blow up, and then they released clips for everyone, and then 2 weeks later, shut. Oh, like, what?
So Attack on Geek's been going for 6 years now, hasn't it?
This month, 6 years, or rather, as of the 30th of August was 6 years.
So after 6 years, you must have a pretty organized schedule. Walk us through your walk us through your week. So you, because I've seen you've done movie reviews, it's game reviews, you'll do your unboxings. Like, how do you schedule all that in the form of a day or a week? Especially when you got to go watch the movie. I'm sure I've tried doing write-up reviews. They take a lot of time, and I'm sure yours takes some time. Like, how long does a write-up review take, for instance?
Oh god. Like, on a good day, about 2-3 hours. I'm the kind of reviewer that I don't just do a short form review, so you don't just get like a couple of paragraphs. I come from a legal background, so my writing is like long. I like to really go in depth into the movies and really talk about, like, say with comic book movies, I'll dive into the comparisons with the comics or previous movies and my own personal feelings. So it can get quite extensive, and that's why it takes 2-3 hours. Also, it's trying to get into that headspace, because writing isn't very, it's not as simple. You can't just turn on a switch and you can start writing and, you know, write an entire piece without any breaks, without any kind of hitting the wall type things, because there's so many times I've had writer's block while writing a review. I'll just blank out and I'll be like, oh my god, what am I doing? So it'll take some time. In terms of like scheduling and things, I mean, when it comes to, you know, like social media content, I generally just use what's around me, because at the moment I prioritize product photos and unboxings and just showing things off. So I'll kind of pre-plan over the weekend what I'm going to talk about, whether it's trending, whether it's not trending, is it something that's going to resonate with people during the week? And then I just schedule everything. So a lot of my tweets and my Instagram posts and everything that I do is actually things that I've done in the weekend, saved, and then I just hit send when I want to hit send.
Nice.
So it's not like I'm actually there doing it at that point in time. So if you don't get a reply from me, it's probably because I've just scheduled it and then I didn't actually see the reply.
I've seen the engagement. I can understand with the amount of likes and retweets and replies you get, if, you know, it takes you a little bit to get through all that.
It's interesting as well because of my day job. Obviously, with my day job, I work with a lot of creators as well. And so a lot of my DMs, for example, are just flooded with people asking me for free stuff. And I'm just like, who are you again?
Wouldn't you just skip them? Would you just glance right over them? I'd glance right over them, wouldn't you?
For me, my policy has always been to answer everyone as much as I can. And that was while my DMs were manageable. Nowadays, it's so crazy. And I feel super bad when I don't get back to someone. But, I think most people understand now because I am doing so many things that I can't necessarily get back to anyone so quickly. Sometimes it'll take me months to get back to someone. And if they're still interested, great, then I'm definitely going to work with them. So it's a lot of, pre-planning, a lot of just watching what's out there, what's happening in the world, and kind of utilizing what I have around me, because I reuse all the same stuff that I've had from like months ago, and find a new way to talk about it, I guess. So like, for example, I don't know, an old microphone that I had, say, Logitech gave it to me. I'll find a way to incorporate it, maybe by comparing it with a new microphone or something like that, just to kind of keep things fresh. So it makes it easier, and I don't have to really think on the spot, which is nice. So content creation is all about scheduling and planning. I can't stress that enough. It makes life so easy.
Definitely.
I was actually glad to see on Tuesday that you guys have re-signed with Facebook Gaming too as partners.
That was an interesting decision to make, because obviously we were previously partnered and then we left the program and then we re-signed. But there's two different things with that. We were partnered before with the live streaming partner program. So we kind of, live streamed on Facebook, and we're streaming exclusively on Facebook, whereas now it's a VOD program. So it just allows Tom and I a bit more breathing room, because we want to start settling down and buying a house and having kids and all of that. And obviously we won't have the same amount of time to dedicate to live streaming, especially putting all our eggs in one basket. That's another thing. Content creation, no. Don't just restrict yourself to one platform. Diversify as much as possible.
That's the one thing.
Just to quickly answer Epic's question, I think with the exclusivity of, I think the live streaming exclusivity is still there, but they don't have the way Dee was explaining to me off stream was they have the VOD exclusive. There's a VOD exclusivity. Like if you do like if I do a review on my YouTube channel for Cardo, that's fine to post to Facebook, but I have to do so much content per month that is exclusive to Facebook that can't go anywhere else. That's VOD. So I can still do other content, but I have to do some content that is exclusive to Facebook, if that makes sense. So that's a pretty fair option in my opinion of how they're doing it.
Yeah,
that was one,
and that's really why. Yeah, that's why we resigned. To be honest,
that's one thing I noticed with YouTube, in that like what Blake's saying, that you start streaming on YouTube and whatnot. Like when I come back to streaming nightlife, it's like, I'll come onto YouTube. I was like, YouTube, I'm never going to get my name out there on YouTube. The one thing that really bummed me out about the whole Mixer thing shutting down is I just started making a name for myself. I started having a half decent like following and viewership, and then it crashed and burned. I was like, okay, let's go to Twitch and jump in the deep end of this pool. And that's when I lost all my motivation for it all, because it didn't feel like I was going anywhere with it. And that's the worst part. Like you got to push so much content out, and especially with YouTube, like Nightlife, he had early access to Flight Simulator. The videos he was putting up was pulling in so many views because he had that content out there before a lot of other people had it out there. So everyone's like, "Oh, Flight Simulator, let's watch this and watch this." And oh, sick! He's flying over the Sydney Opera House. Where's the Sydney Harbour Bridge? Who knows? But everyone got to see it before they could touch it physically, and that's one thing on YouTube I've noticed, that if you're getting that content out before other people can get it out, or making it different to how other people are making it, you'll somewhat make a name for yourself, but it's still a very, very big pool, and it's very, very deep.
That lines up with what Dee said earlier though as well, about with your reviews needing to get by a certain date. Like you kind of got to in this space, otherwise, because if you don't do it, someone else is going to do it, and everyone will be reading that instead of reading your own review.
Yep.
Another question from Blake. How will Facebook highlight this content between cat videos?
I'm pretty certain cat videos will just always get the highlight.
I swear every time you scroll through Facebook, there's always one cat video.
Yeah.
At least one.
Guys, if you have some more questions, by all means, throw them in. We have a couple more. I think we have one. I think we have one more review to get. One more review to get through. I think we missed it. Which was the State of Decay 2 Homecoming update, which hit this morning for us in Australia. So,
yeah,
the girls you jumped into that. Well, briefly, what do you girls think of that? So just Homecoming in a nutshell was it's putting in the map that was in State of Decay 1, but it's all changed and new items, new weapons. So yeah, take us through it.
Well, because I was waiting for it to drop last night because it was 1st of September, but because of time zones, I was like, oh, okay, I'll jump on this morning. But yeah, I played like maybe about 2 hours of it this morning, just because that's how much time I had to fit it in before picking up my boy from school. And yeah, it was been a while since I played State of Decay 2. So jumping back into it, seeing fresh new content, I was like, oh yes, I remember how much fun this game was. And yeah, I can't wait to see more of it, see what other weapons and more discoveries I can find in the new map as well. See the different new bases that we can unlock and things like that. And yeah, be good.
So you played the first one, correct?
I did. It's been years though. I can't remember it, but I did hear familiar voices over when they're talking over the speaker walkie-talkies. I was like, oh, she was from the first one. So there will be familiar faces if you played the first one with this new map.
Did the map feel look different? Like, I obviously haven't played the first one, so I'm not really familiar with it myself, but did the map feel different?
It like I said, I only had about 2 hours of playing it, so I probably haven't seen all of the map yet. But yeah, I'm trying to remember the first one. I probably have to go back and play it, but
that's the worst thing. You play a game that long ago, and then you start playing the second one, and they add a DLC from the first one or something, and you're like, yeah, I remember some of this, some of it I don't.
I played it briefly this afternoon, I should say, as well, and I'm playing it on the Dread difficulty. I've played the first map. I was doing a bit of a playthrough through it. So I've done the first map. And so I thought, okay, I'll leave and jump onto the new map. And boy, it was hard. I lost 2 of my... Because they dumped me onto the small... I'm not sure if anyone else is familiar with it, but I need a base that's big, and they dumped me onto the small map, which doesn't suit... sorry, they dumped me onto one of the small bases, which doesn't suit the amount of people I had. So I had to try and get a bigger base, but... With one of the previous updates, whenever there's a plague a plague heart, it locks you down from getting anything within that area. So I had to quickly try and get these 2 plague hearts. Yeah, but I lost not 1 but 2 community members in the first 20 minutes, and I hate losing community members because on the difficulty I've got, once they're gone, they're gone. So I lost my leader off the bat, and I was so annoyed too because I just took like 10 Molotovs with me. I've thrown them all at this heart, thinking, yep, I'll be sweet. And it didn't die, and I'm like, I think this is probably one of this is where my second one will die eventually. I took the second one out, and it literally took 1 more bomb. So I had 1 more bomb on me. The first one would never have died. My second one died because I just couldn't get out. I hate the little feral, I think they call them ferals. So for those that aren't familiar with State of Decay, they're literally little dudes that run on all 4s. They dodge everything. They dodge you're running them over. They just dodge your sword. They dodge your bullet. They're just so annoying, and they just tackle you. And every time I see them, I'm always absolutely running from them. But this is a great multiplayer game in my opinion. I love playing this more with people again. For those unfamiliar with it, it's multiplayer in the sense of you will join someone else's world. So if you've got survivors that you've kind of leveled up in your own world, you can kind of take them into someone else's world, and you can kind of get items together, stuff like that. So no, I'm enjoying it. Did you say you had a chance to jump in yet, Boo Boo, or not yet?
I only played it for the first time last night. Trish and I ended up playing a few hours of it. I honestly had never played the first one. I don't know how that got past me because this is a type of game that's right up my alley. So playing it for the first time last night was the first time that I had ever seen any of State of Decay. So, and I enjoyed it. And Trish and I are definitely going to be playing that some more, I hope.
can do it
So
tomorrow.
But I
You-
haven't tried any of the new update as yet.
You didn't think you were gonna like it, so you're surprised that you have.
I'm actually no. That's why I even said to Trish last night, I'm actually quite surprised that this game slipped right past my radar to begin with because I had never even played the first one.
It's a lot
And
of
it
fun.
blew me away I really enjoyed it. I did, like I said, struggled to leave the computer to go to bed. I had to get up early for work and I
One of them
really
games.
struggled.
It's a good game.
And I was like, Trish, I really got to go. And I'm like, okay, we'll just go and do this. And I'm like, come on, I got to go. But I just couldn't get away from it. So
What
it's
about
good.
yourself? What about yourself, D? Is this something you've played before?
I actually played the first. I played this one when it first came out. 2 years ago? No, a couple of years ago. Maybe even longer than that. I feel like it came out in like 2018, 2019, 2018-ish, maybe.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I think it's it's a couple of years.
Yeah,
down,
I remember waking up super early to play it on as soon as it went live at like 4 a.m. in the morning in New Zealand. And I think that was the biggest mistake because playing it at that point in the morning where I'm half asleep wasn't helpful to actually make me enjoy the game. So I actually played it. I lost a few community members and I was just like, yeah, this is not for me. And then I never went back. So maybe I should start playing games at night rather than mornings.
You can play it on, I think if you play it on the easy mode, you won't lose the community members. Like if you die, they'll just respawn, I think. But yeah, the harder difficulties, definitely once they die.
We have had a question for everyone saying if there was an actual zombie apocalypse, what would be your weapon of choice?
Probably a crossbow.
Start with you,
or
D.
something like that. Oh.
Yeah, Wex crossbow. Yep.
I don't.
Well, Obi's would be John
That's
Wick.
a tough one. John Wick would be your weapon of choice. Wait, can we have John Wick as our weapon of choice, but in boyfriend dungeons, so we get to date John Wick?
Oh my god.
There you go.
Well,
He's
if
looking
if
way
he's
too
a
far into
weapon,
this
well,
game.
I guess. There you go. So, well, I guess if John Wick is a weapon in boyfriend dungeons, you're dating weapons. I guess you could date John Wick. There you go. So
In that case, yeah, that would be my weapon of choice too.
John Wick. So apparently, John Wick is a gun as well.
See, I reckon I'd have to use a machete or something. Like something that you don't need ammo. That's not necessarily going to break. Because you can just keep sharpening a machete.
Yeah, that's why I went with a crossbow because you can always take your bolts back.
True.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We go to Bunnings. We all meet at Bunnings.
You go buy.
We all meet at Bunnings. We got homemade weapons for days,
Yes.
right on mowers, everything. Trish and I is
Ride-on mowers.
We are
Just
prepared.
Ride a mower.
Whippersnipper,
Whippersnipper, anything.
Chainsaw.
Bunnings is
chainsaw, yep.
free for all.
Nail gun.
Yeah, I think I'd have to go with that. I think I'd have to go reliable shotgun. If we're all in a team, we need to have some kind of weapon, gun there. So I'll go the shotgun. You guys just have to help me with the ammo there. Well, it is a new month as well. So considering everything that came out over August, what was our favorite Game Pass game over August? Who wants to start off? Who had a favorite?
I'm going to say
August?
12 minutes.
You're going to go 12 minutes?
I really enjoyed 12 minutes.
So that's your Game Pass pick of the month?
Game Pass of August would be 12 minutes.
There you go.
Mine will
I don't even
probably
think I need to ask Ruby or Trish. I have a feeling I know what they're going to say, but we'll see.
What do you think? Okay.
You're going to say
Mine
Back
will-
for Blood?
Oh, yes, that would be mine.
You haven't
Definitely.
even picked anything, had you?
Honestly, I was gonna say I'm only a newcomer to the whole Xbox Game Pass, but that crossed my mind. So yes, Back for Blood. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mine probably would have been that Curse of the Dead Gods. I really
The lies.
No,
Okay.
I was playing that even when I wasn't streaming or making content for it.
It would
I
have
was
been
playing-
Boyfriend Dungeon for you, and you know it.
I only played that once.
Once that we know
Something you
of.
told us about.
Yeah. Go on a profile, 100 and something hours came.
All the achievements ticked.
Yeah.
Romance all the weapons.
Romance, all the weapons. That probably is an achievement too.
What about you, Nightlife?
There was a lot to come out this month, wasn't there? I would
You
probably
played a
have
bit
to-
of that Cyberpunk game, didn't you?
Oh, the
Ascent or whatever.
the
it is.
Ascent.
Yeah.
And Flight Simulator was last month, so I can't really pick that one. It's a bit of a tough one this month, to be honest. There's been quite a few games. I'd probably have to go with the Ascent, maybe. Maybe either the Ascent or Back 4 Blood, because I did enjoy that. That had to be my picks of the month.
Nice.
Psychonauts 2. I know everyone's raving about Psychonauts 2, and I don't have anything bad to say about it, but I just personally really struggle with single player games and enjoying them. I'm just more multiplayer, and I've said that before. Like, I think I lasted half an hour in Psychonauts 2 before. Like, this is just not my cup of tea. And it's not that it's nothing. I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's just I just struggle with single player stories. Unless it's got a lightsaber and I can use the Force, like I'm not going to get through it.
What about you, D? What was your game of August?
Mine was definitely Psychonauts 2. Except for the first introduction where I had to play in the mind of a dentist and see teeth everywhere.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I couldn't do that.
That made me feel
It's a good game, you know. It's a good game. It's got a great story. It's a great single player game. But the teeth section, just seeing the gums, seeing like the character pull the teeth out of the gums, it was just like, oh, I can't do it. But it's my game. I would say that's my game for the month.
So on that note, we are officially bringing back Light Side or Dark Side. For anyone that is new to the podcast and doesn't know what that is, each podcast will pick a game for each other to play from anything from the Game Pass catalog. And you've got the week or 2 weeks to play the game and then come back and tell us if it's part of the light or dark side. So obviously Light Side is a game you should try out, and Dark Side, like Boyfriend Dungeons, where it should stay, is the bad side.
For those unfamiliar with this segment, it's similar to some segments that people call it Game Pass or Play, but everyone uses that name, so we called it something different. So
we didn't want to start.
I love Star Wars, so I just said let's just go with Light Side and Dark Side. So we've been a few weeks since we brought it back in. So yeah, we picked the games for each other. We'll have a week because the episodes are weekly. So
yeah,
you're gonna have to refresh my memory as to who was picking for who. So who was actually picking for who this week?
Mr. Nightlife is picking for Boo Boo, and Boo Boo is picking for Mr. Nightlife. So, what are your games for each other?
I'll go last. Usual go first.
Yeah, go.
All right, Trish. The game you're going to be playing next week is Battletoads.
Battletoads.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It, for some reason, gave me Worms vibes. Like, you know, the game Worms? For some reason, it gave me vibes of that. I don't know why, but I thought, yeah, Trish can play this one.
Okay.
See,
I was going to pick Boyfriend Dungeons for you because I liked it. I want to see your reaction of it.
I would have installed it and just uninstalled it on the stream and like, yeah, I played it.
Yeah, I think we said a rule. It has to be something we haven't like kind of discussed on stream, so we can on the podcast, so we can kind of talk about it. So did you have another one in mind?
No, not really. Let's have a quick look.
What have you got one for me, Boo Boo?
Actually, yes. One thing that it was either Boyfriend Dungeons, but Trish and that, but Outlast 2.
Oh, I think okay. Yeah, I have played that. I've played some of that before.
I couldn't remember it. I've got a memory like a goldfish. I've got a memory like a goldfish, so I wasn't. Yeah, see, 7 knows. I love my horror games, so.
So there's some the beauty of this is to find something they probably won't like and make them suffer through.
Well, see, that's why I was like Boyfriend Dungeons, because you were so against it, but you just told Trisha access
I'm totally
denied.
against it. I'm totally.
We've already talked about it. So okay.
I made that real conveniently all of a sudden.
I know, isn't that God?
Just suit my needs.
Wait, if I'm the host, does that mean I can make up rules on the fly?
No. You cannot. Don't give me that privilege.
Access denied.
What
about Darkest Dungeons, Whippy? That'll be your game.
Yeah, I'll give that a go. Darkest Dungeons.
There we go. Done.
And what do you got for me?
Do you want PC or Xbox?
PC.
You would prefer PC?
Yes.
I know you've got the Xbox. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm doing this one.
Oh, here we go. Don't be. Here we go. It was that look in your face.
You're going to play.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I would like it because I'm a huge fan. I know I haven't watched it in a while. Okay. And it's been a while since I've played one of these games, so I'd be curious to know what these games like these days. Cricket 19.
What? What?
Cricket 19. Cricket.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me! I hate
I'm not
fucking
joking.
cricket. I fucking hate cricket.
Oh,
Just half an hour. Yeah, that's all you got to do.
Wow.
I want to know.
I'm gonna stream this. You watch me. I'm gonna stream it for a good half hour just for you. So you have to tune in.
And D, just
Cricket
because
19,
you're our
it's on
special,
P-
just
it's
because
on
D's our
PC.
special guest, I feel like you should go and give 12 minutes a go. Even though you said you get icked out by that stuff,
Okay.
give it a go.
Yeah, I can do that. I can do that.
Is that worth it?
Be
Though,
interesting.
since you already knows the ending.
I think so. It's like
getting to
it
the
feels
ending.
like, yeah, I think it'll
You
be
didn't
kind of
spoil
cool
that.
to get to that point. It'll kind of be like the Goosebump books where you kind of choose your own adventure type thing.
Put it this way, I watched Nightlife play it for probably the last 45 minutes of his stream, so I had a couple of ideas of what to do. I finished it in 3 hours, so that's the best I've got it.
Okay.
And I googled it afterwards, and I think you can, if you do everything perfectly, you can get it done in 12 loops. But I went
wow.
way over that.
Yeah. Once you kind of like it, because it's figuring out what they want you to do, and it's doing it the right way. So I'd still be curious what you think of it with the gameplay mechanics and stuff like that. Aside from
It's
the
definitely
story.
a game.
We still had another question that came in for yourself. Dave's going back up to find it again. Just going.
Oh,
back.
was it about the Australian
here it is,
being
yeah.
Australian?
It came from Blakey. Is being in Australasia a huge advantage as we get content before others?
Yes and no, I guess.
So yes and no to that.
Do we really get the content
Yeah.
earlier though? Because normally we just have to wait an extra day.
Yes, it depends on the game. Sometimes it's released via released via time zone, which then usually means that New Zealand gets it first. So what a lot of people do is they switch their consoles to New Zealand. But yeah, sometimes it's just released off dates, a generic date. I actually can't remember the last thing that was released based off Australia getting it first. It's been a while since I've seen a game done like that.
I think betas normally go live Australia, New Zealand first, right? But it's not midnight. It's kind of during the day that it would go live.
Yeah, it's a
So
weird time during the day.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like with movies, yes, because we get movies a lot earlier, I think, than like a lot of the bigger markets like the US and Europe and things. So I think it's a good thing to get movies first, but games, I don't know. It's too late for me at night to stay up and play games.
Yeah, that's understandable.
That's the worst part. A lot of our, like even Gamescom, you had to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to watch Gamescom. It's like, I'll just wait until I get home from work and watch it.
So for those listening, I know we'll go a year because anything can happen a year. But what do people have to look forward to in the next year with Attack and Geek and yourself?
Good question, because I don't know. I don't even know what's coming in the next year. I'm kind of living day to day because obviously lockdown has caused a big impact in our more real life kind of work that we do. So one of the things that Attack on Geek used to do is host community nights. So we'd actually have real life community nights where we get, a little club or something, or a location where people can come down, meet each other, kind of play games together and things like that. But this year, actually last year, I was planning to do an Xbox one during PAX, and obviously PAX was cancelled and all of that. And I was super excited when PAX was happening this year. I had started all the planning. It was going to be super amazing. And then PAX was cancelled. And I was like, there's another year gone. So it's really hard to plan.
I unfortunately predicted that early in the year because we had a Melbourne trip planned early in the year, and then we cancelled it. We lost a bit of money in the booking fee. The accommodation kept our money. We lost, I think, about $500. And I said to Maz, we're not risking it. So I feel like something's going to happen, and we said no, we won't do. I mean, we had them. We knew we were going to be moving as well, but it was just too risky for us to lose even more money, even though things were looking bright. So I'm hoping not too many people have lost money with accommodation bookings when PAX was
I mean, it's not just the people who booked accommodation. I feel bad for the accommodation places themselves, like the hotels, Airbnbs, like
everyone's suffering.
Everyone, really, yeah. So
definitely,
yeah, I think we're in the same boat as everyone in sense of everything non-gaming related is quite hard to plan. I think for us, it's just all about really doing our podcast, doing our reviews, doing just a kind of content from the viewpoint of Tom and I as a couple, because I think that's something that not many people get to see, is actually see us together. We generally make content separately, so this year I think the focus is really having us together making content, which is different. It's nice, and it also means we're spending so much time together in the house, we might as well do things together as well.
So where can people find you? if they
me personally, well, I basically live on Twitter. Just don't DM me because my DMs are super full.
Did you
Twitter
go DM Dhayana?
Yes.
Ask for as much free stuff as you possibly can. No. Don't do that. That is the most cringy thing you could do. No.
I mean, hey, if you come to me with a good proposal, I will more than likely say yes, because I do really like to support smaller creators, and it's just anime. I want more people to watch anime. So if I can give anime to people, that's great.
Actually, just quickly on that, I might actually get into it because Star Wars have the anime coming out later in the year. And I love anything Star Wars, so I'm actually going to give this one a good go because I'm not much of an anime watcher. But have you seen the trailer for it?
Yeah, I think it's the same people who did. It wasn't Samurai Jack, was it? I know it's someone in the anime.
It looks good.
It was
though.
one
I'm
of the
curious.
I think it'd be really good. It's more and more. I guess Western animation is kind of moving that way.
I knew that was coming.
One of my mates asked me not long ago. He's like, "Oh, do you watch anime?" I was like, "Oh, I love Dragon Ball Z and I don't mind One Piece." He's like, and I was like, "That's it." And he's like, "So you don't watch anything else?" I was like, "No." He's like, "You haven't lived." I was like, "What do you mean I haven't lived? I've watched like most of Dragon Ball Z." He's like, "There's so much more to anime." I was like, oh, "I'm aware of this, but I'm quite happy with what I've watched. Thanks." But I will be watching the Star Wars anime. That's definitely watching that one.
There was another anime recently that came out as well. If you haven't heard of Demon Slayer, if you do want to kind of delve into anime, watch Demon Slayer. It's amazing.
Yeah,
and there's a game coming out for it.
Oh, was that really?
Mm-hmm. It's the same kind of game as like your Dragon Ball Fighter games or like the Naruto games where you kind of play as characters and it's like a JRPG kind of game, but it's got the animation studios backing, which means it looks really, really good. So yeah, give it a go.
Demon Slayer and My Hero Academia is another one that's been suggested.
Yes, My Hero Academia is if you guys aren't in lockdown in October, go watch the movie because I'm working on that and I don't want it to fail.
So go watch that one, eh?
Go and watch it. Or don't DM her. They're easy as that.
There are two things, right? Don't DM me and go watch My Hero Academia in cinemas.
Yeah.
Neon Genesis Evangelion, yeah,
that's a really big one as well.
You did that so bad.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Hey, I tried, okay?
Yeah, you gave it the choice.
So there you go. And what about the Attack and Geek side of things? If people want to learn more about Attack and Geek, where can they go for that?
Well, currently, obviously, now that we are going to be on Facebook more, you can find us on Attack on Geek TV on Facebook. We are disestablishing our old page for reasons. Otherwise, you can always find us on the website at attackongeek.com and everything should be there. So it's your one-stop shop.
And I have seen this site and it's good value, guys. So yeah, if you want to go anything reviews or anything anime and gaming at www.attackongeek.com. And yeah, if you want to be a part of the giveaway she'll do for the code, you'll have to go follow her anyway. So, to find out where she's doing it and how she's doing it. So
and then I will DM you.
And then she will DM you. And then you can ask for the free stuff being the code.
Yeah. I am actually very keen to see your review of Shang-Chi. when you get around to
Oh
making
God. Don't even talk to me about that movie. I'm very heartbroken today, okay? I literally had a cry. Well, not really had a cry, but you know what I mean. I was literally heartbroken today when I saw the case numbers in Victoria, and I was like, damn it. I'll just never get to see this.
That's the worst part. Like, they have the option to put it on Disney Plus, but the last 2 movies they put on Disney Plus, they're wanting to sue them. So it's like, do we stick this up and get sued or?
Yeah. It's a discussion in itself, right? Because they could have just changed the contracts and everyone can benefit.
Exactly, but they stuffed up in that way.
Definitely an odd decision on that one for sure. So, what else we got, Whip? Is that everything we got today?
That's it. We've run roughly 44 minutes over what we meant to, but that's fine. That's only a brief thing. So. Look, for those listening and have made it this far, well done. Looks like this is Whippy's first time hosting tonight, because there will be some episodes I can't host for those that follow me on my social media, the process of building a house. So hopefully within the next 2 months I am going to be moving, which means probably in the next month this place starts getting dismantled, so there'll be some episodes I miss out. So someone needs to hold the fort while I take my leave of absence, so better for Whippy to take a stab at it now. So yes, thank you for everyone's patience tonight. I guess I'll wrap us up for the audio side of things, guys. Thanks for tuning in as always. Dhayana, thanks for taking the time to be with us and introducing yourself to us. We hope you can join us again in the future. If you have any feedback on our show, guys, as always, as I've said in past episodes, we happily take on any feedback. We always are keen to improve. So you can do that by joining our Discord, or you can DM us at our Twitter at TheCouchSquad, and we'll be happy to listen. And we have been getting the feedback, and we do take it on board. So yeah, if you do have any feedback, good or bad, we definitely do listen. That's all from us for the audio side of things, guys. We hope you take care. Hope you have a great weekend, and we will see you in the next show. Goodbye. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, that's the audio side of things done, because we can edit that out. Hello, live stream. What do you guys think? We all still there? Relax a bit now.
I was watching the time go up. I was like, yeah, this
time just flew.
Yeah, when you're
flew.
in podcast, it just flies. It's even streaming now. You'll be sitting there playing. You're like, 3 hours. Whoops.
Anyway, when we were interviewing, because we've been trying to keep to about that hour, and like when we're asking questions to D, I'm like, it's like gone 8:30 already. It's like, where did that hour go? Like, I don't even feel like we really wasted time. It just
because I talk too much, guys. I'm sorry.
No, it's not.
Like there's some stuff we'll talk about off. Like I should have looked at run sheet a bit better. We skipped a couple of things. I lost my thought. I think because Whippy skipped a couple of points in the run sheet, which kind of threw me off a little bit as well.
Yeah, threw me off too.
What? I wasn't ready for that. I was
kind of scrolling up and down. I wasn't even looking at the list at the top. I was just like, oh, okay, here's Myst. Let's talk about Myst.
Especially when it comes to me, Super Animal Kingdom, I was like, I go now.
I just kept scrolling down at that point.
You know what's funny as well? We actually missed a lot of games that were coming. I looked at the list, there was heaps more to talk about. But
the 7th, I think they come out. But yeah,
that's the thing. Though, we're still like, in theory, Dhayana's still only our second guest to come on, so we're still learning that and adapting and how that all works. So I think it's really hard trying to accommodate like both. Like, because you obviously, like, when you bring on a guest, you want to learn more about that guest as well. So you got to allow at least like half an hour for that. So that doesn't give you long to kind of get through all the Game Pass stuff. You'd almost have to cut down.
Especially with a bio like these. You're like, this will take half an hour. I wasn't going to read it out, but I was like,
No, but in all seriousness though, I don't know if you used to listen to Deaf Puppies podcast. They go for an hour and you're learning about someone, then time flies in them too. It's like, an hour is not long when you essentially talking about someone's, I guess, journey, really.
Yeah. I've been on their podcast once and time just flies. You start talking about one thing, then something else, and something else. You're like, oh, it's now 9. Nice.
I guess we'll have a bit of a chat off stream. Guys in the stream, guys, thank you very much for hanging out. It's fun as always. I'm not going to host anyone tonight because, to be honest, I'm not logged into the right account, so I'm too lazy to switch over. I'm logging it out. So, no, everyone on the live stream, thank you very much. One thing we've got to mention, the show time will move. So we are now going to move to Mondays. So there'll actually be another show on Monday, and it's because of shift work. So yeah, we'll have a show on Monday, and then there'll be every Monday for a while, because I have to work Thursday nights. So yeah, our episode 7 will actually be Monday. So short turnaround, not much time to prepare, always lots to do.
No.
Oh, nice weekend of making up a run streak.
We'll have a bit of a chat off streams now, but yeah, guys, thank you to everyone that hung out. It is always much appreciated, and until next time, we'll catch you all later.
See you guys.
Bye.